Gunman who shot at cops released without charges. Late night fire guts two buildings on Durban Street. And Guyana is in a state of national insecurity. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Tonight we begin with another epic fail brought to us courtesy of the Guyana Police Force. Days after he shot at a cop on Regent Street in broad daylight, 24-year-old serial gunman Shaquille Grant has been released from police custody without charge, while his accomplice Jason Burnett is still on the run. Last Saturday, the police intercepted the man at a Burger King after receiving a tip-off that the two were about to kill someone. When they approached the two, they immediately started firing at the police, triggering a gunfight, which became a chase after Burnett ran into the Burger King's kitchen and dumped his gun in a trash can, while Grant ran west down Regent Street and was later arrested on Charlotte Street. Burnett somehow evaded arrest while Grant was released from custody on Wednesday. Though the shooting happened since Saturday, the police have not said a word about this shocking development. They didn't even release a single press statement, which is worrisome since Shaquille Grant actually has a history of gun-related felonies. In 2019, he was freed of the murder of Sapphire bread vendor Andre Melroy Alexander. I'm pretty sure for no case submission, probably. He has since been arrested numerous times for other gun-related crimes, while Burnett has been convicted of 2 armed robbery charges. An early morning fire on Durban Street completely gutted a vulcanizing shop and an adjoining house, leaving 18 people homeless. The owner of the shop, Kevin Phillips, believes that the fire was caused by arson. Around 1 a.m., Phillips claimed to have seen 2 men riding away from the side of his property. Exquisite jewelry and pawn shop located next door suffered some heat damage as well from the blaze. Nevertheless, the fire is still under investigation. 1 week after a burnt Cessna with Brazilian registration was discovered near Kukwani, investigators are still no closer to finding the persons who flew the plane into Guyana. Authorities believe the aircraft was smuggling cocaine, although the cargo and its traffickers have vanished without a trace. On the same day the plane was found, another aircraft, which was spotted flying over Guyana, was later busted in Suriname, loaded with drugs. Over in Maruka in the Northwest District, 23-year-old Rashawn Vera left his home last Friday looking for work in the Aranka Bakdam, only to have since gone missing. And his family fears that he may have been eaten by a wild animal. According to the man's cousin, they and 5 others had left the work site and were walking down the trail when they heard a motorcycle approaching. Fearing bandits on the trail, the men decided to hide in the bushes. After an hour had passed, the men came out of the hiding places, but Vera was nowhere to be found. The police are currently searching for the missing man. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this Nissan Juke. It comes with Mark Grimm's new tires, DVD, stereo, reverse camera, rear spoiler, and much more. Buy cash for $2.9 million, or pay down as low as $580,000 down with around $66,000 monthly for 4 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet, sweet deal. The police have arrested 2 men in Berbice for the murder of Harish Singh. Philip Alexander and another man whose name is not immediately known were arrested at their home this afternoon. The accused are relatives of the Henry boys. The police claim that one of the men has since confessed to the murder, which means they really must have beat him up and beat him bad in record time. Over in Berbice, cattle farmers have turned to the Ministry of Agriculture for help after discovering that other nearby farmers have been hacking away at their cows. Those cattle farmers were forced to move their livestock to the front lawns after their designated grazing areas in the back lawns became flooded. The cows then end up wandering into the rice fields and other farms, thus causing the conflict. The Guyana Livestock Development Authority and other regional authorities are currently working with the farmers to resolve the issue. Yesterday morning, miner Shane Blake was fatally shot in Apakwea Landing, Mazaruni River. According to the cops, Blake was sleeping in an abandoned building when the suspect woke him up and ordered him to get dressed at gunpoint. Blake retaliated by dropping the man in the shoulder, who then responded by shooting Blake in the chest. The suspect subsequently fled the scene while the victim died at the hospital of his injuries. A quick cent is better than a slow dollar. Sell Digicel top-up and watch your money grow. This is one of the simplest investments you can make to let your money earn you money. Call 685-3109 and get started. It's now time for today's Runner Report. Today, the nation recorded 206 new cases. There are now 458 persons dead, 18 persons in the ICU, 1,572 persons in home isolation. The total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 19,565. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Last night, 2 sickos robbed a 13-year-old boy of his cell phone in Zeeland. The child was making his way to a shop in the housing scheme when the two pulled up on a motorcycle. They whipped out a handgun, while the other one put a knife to the boy's throat. They stole his cash and phone before escaping. So, you just booked a flight from New York to Guyana. The flight cost roughly $300. With a total of just 22 kilos, your flight cost is taken care of. And as for you shippers, stop wasting half your day online just to be overcharged for multiple day shipping that may or may not get there on time. Go to ferryshareglobal.com and become a member today. Early this morning, a 46-year-old man was carjacked on Leopold Street. Reports indicate that the gunman blocked the road before hopping out of their vehicle and into the man's Toyota Fielder wagon. The two bandits robbed the man of his cell phone and jewelry before taking the vehicle itself. The suspects in the Mazda motor car that was blocking the road also escaped. And now for our stupid news of the day. In recent weeks, there has been a surge in violence against the police. Almost weekly, some story arises where a civilian is actually the one doing the police brutality and not the other way around. Now, we're even hearing that a man can actually shoot at a cop in broad daylight and get away with it. How? What sense does this make? If there is no justice for the people who are supposed to protect us, then what chance does the average person stand in this violent nation? What protection is there for us? Seriously. Worse yet, they are not even given the training nor the equipment to even deal with the crime effectively. So what does that breed? A dissatisfied and unmotivated police force. And what does a dissatisfied and unmotivated police force breed? Corruption. You guessed it. It could all be traced back to the top. The whole leadership of the force needs to be fired and made to reapply for their job under a strict standard. And if they can't cut it, they gotta go. And the people have to be the ones to push for this. We, the people, I mean. Because it's not going to be the politicians who do it. In fact, the politicians don't even care. They have security. In fact, Minister Bonty-Lyons stays strapped, even when he's out with his security. But what do you and I have? Well, probably a rusty cutlass and a prayer for defense, am I right? All of this is to say that if we really want a safer nation for all of us, we can't wait on a select few politicians to do it. We have to do it ourselves. Because if you ask me, relying on a group of rich people who don't even have your best interests at heart is pretty stupid. Hey Guyanese business people, are you looking for a great way to advertise your business? Search no more. Join one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Register your business on snap.gy and get access to more eyeballs. And wait for the best part, it's absolutely free. Get your business listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comment, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what are some of the things you would like to see happen in the education sector? Vincent Mahadio said the education system needs a total overhaul. Guyana cannot be realistically competitive with the world as it is today. Are there realistic economists to handle the dividends from the oil industry now? Exactly. Good point. 10-4 says the ministry needs to put a free lunch program in place for the poor students. Yes, I agree. In fact, I think all children should get it. Because if we're willing to feed every single prisoner 3 square meals a day, then we should at least give our kids, one a day? Jojo R. said, I strongly believe child psychology programs should be taught and implemented so children can learn how to deal with trauma and other things from an early age. And finally, Richie K said, all governments and education systems need to focus and invest more funds and effort into the arts, like dance, music, painting, singing, martial arts, welding, creative writing, yoga, exercise, volunteerism. Different ways in which the people can express themselves without resorting to violence. Beautiful point, Richie. You all had some great points last night, and I wish I had time to read them all, but unfortunately we don't. But for tonight's question, the price of everything is on the rise. How much more are you paying for your weekly trip to the market? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.